Tell me, Lamour, how do you know he'd been shot?
Huh? Well,
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified you seen nothing. Yet you knew Mr. Latos had been shot. How could you have known?
Lemoir! You aren't hiding something from the court, I hope?
That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
now I remember. Please allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All I want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so. Only a glimpse that you knew there were bullet holes?
Yes, I recognized him immediately. I'd seen bullet holes before, you know.
You've travelled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous than our country.
I go wherever my voice is needed. These places are many these days. That's really cool. I hope I get to travel like Lamour someday.
I plan on recording my next album overseas. The studios have very different sounds, you know. Maybe I should go on a Court of Steel tour too. Open the door, obscures the bullet holes.
Objection!
Lamour, they call you the Siren of the Ballad, but lies are hardly becoming such a creature.
A put-down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't I be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lemar, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct?
Yes, so?
There were bullet holes in the room, yes? But they were in the wall the door was on. You see, assuming you merely glanced in the room, you couldn't have seen the bullet holes.
Lamour,
Yes.
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you've been holding back something.
And I must tell you what it is I saw.
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it'll be on the news in Bulgaria. You understand your reputation at stake. It falls on you to avoid tarnishing it.
Personally speaking, I believe that cross-examining her would yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latroce died. And he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamour.
Very well. Lamour, please continue your testimony.
Very well, I shall. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window in there. That's how
I knew that'd fucking come up.
There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Mashi. It was a clone person. I know it was.
So you did witness the crime, and the killer was a grown person, you say?
Ugh, this is my first time hearing this. I saw you. Nice play, her forehead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about La Memoire. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong. So you were heading towards the dressing room?
Yes.
So this is a little look before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. About the same time Emma and I heard the shots.
I was on my way back.
What exactly is something like a little window?
Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think it's how it's said, yes?
You need not worry no more. Your choice of words is impeccable. And that's fucking French dialect again. Yeah. Right. So it is a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defence remembers a detail? That little window on the wall.
I saw the crime from there. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
And you're certain you heard 2 shots fired?
Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot, much closer.
And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradiction so far.
It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do.
It wasn't Matt you shot, are you sure?
Yes, quite certain.
It amuses me you will question her testimony. It is testimony in your favour. Isn't it my job to object?
Yeah, Apollo, what are you thinking?
Trucy, let's just listen to what Lemmy Moore has to say. Can you tell me how you were so sure?
Yes, of course, you see.
A grown person? That's a little vague.
I'm sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man, a young man.
And you're sure of that?
His voice was quite clear.
Voice?
Looking at the diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely you wouldn't have heard a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely on my ears and my eyes. When I hear a voice, I don't forget it. The voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard a voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latos?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latus who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is good testimony. That proves it wasn't Mackie.
Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast the case into a considerably different light. What's the defence's opinion on this testimony?
It's pretty good. I'd have to say it's pretty good. Vital even. This shows the shooter wasn't matchy. Ha ha. Sure you can't be serious, Herr Forehead. Why not? La mémoire. I understand why you'd want to protect Machi. Yet remember, you are the sign of the ballad, and lies not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what's he talking about?
How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. State of the room? Yeah, and when the murder took place, the window was closed. I find hard to believe you would hear a voice for it.
But I'm sure.
La mémoire. I had nothing but the highest regard for you in musical sense. In my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
But she's the only eyewitness we have.
So you say? And the victim named her the Siren as the witness?
That's right. That's what Mr. Lathouse.
We heard your claim, even entertained the possibility, and it brought us to this. Herr Judge?
Yes?
The prosecution requests the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honour the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if no more can't testify,
We don't have a chance of proving Match's innocence.
The cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke. Now where were we? Ah yes, I'd like to hear from the fine detective again.
Wait, let me hear Lemore's testimony one more time.
But the cross-examination's already over. Until such time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Herr Forehead? I hope I don't just miss my only chance. Fine, detective. How far have we gotten before we reveal the interrupted?
Don't ask me.
I dislike saying the same thing twice. And I never repeat a song for an encore.
If you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying the only way Mr. Latouse's killer could have escaped was through the air vent on the ceiling.
Yes, there's only one door in the room, and a witness, you, was standing in front of it.
The air vent ain't very big, see? Kinda limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly would have a difficult time.
You sure would. Not you would have been in there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved in the concert. The only one who meets the conditions of our killer is the defendant.
A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself.
She just stated a clear case. For reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
The circumstances, again?
That's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Matchy? That was bizarre.
She's right. Why did Mr. Latouse's body disappear from the room and end up on the stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation, Herr Judge.
Thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough, you get a nose for these things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Very good, full-line detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us? 5 has the body moved. And how does that lead us to secure?
I believe Matchy stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamimore's song. Now in the country had managed to kill the victim. And Matchy practically left his signature on the scene. All this evidence clearly points to the defendant.
Lamimore's song? Yeah, the guitar serenade. You noticed it's called too, did you not? It's code. Or was it events that day followed the lyrics to our song? First, the keys my heart held onto so tightly were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames. Mr. Latouse's life was taken by a bullet. So the rest hardly need explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky.
That's mad! It's like a story out of a fairy tale.
I admit I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me, the grand finale as it were.
Hey, you know one thing that I first noticed that?
Just a minute. Yeah, aren't we all forgetting about the fact that Matchy's fucking blind?
You know, I was the first one who noticed that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs, but killing?
It's a wild word out there, her judge.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next, the cross-examination.
I'm not sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Who's did a body just to match some lyrics?
Well, I didn't believe it myself, but it can't just be a coincidence.
It's as the four-line says. Let's begin with the first verse if you vote four-line detective.
Huh? You want me to sing it?
You're the witness, yeah? Or do you just want me to sing? I warn you, my fee as a vocalist is not trivial.
Fine. Let's look at the first part of the lyrics, shall we? When you stole away the keys, my heart held on so tight.
Indeed, my favourite heart-shaped keyring was stolen the morning.
Then we go to the right page of the lyric sheet, where we find burning in my heart, fire, burn my love away, all away. As we know, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. Like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away, all away. Mr. Latouse's life was taken by a bullet.
Bravo, full-line detective. Your singing is not bad. Now for the finale.
Guitar, up together in the sky.
As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latouse was found with a guitar high in the sky over the stage. No says a coincidence could be so well conceived.
He's right, scientifically speaking.
What would Watty have said? The concert was wet.
Hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that. Anyway, the shooter.
Does the prosecutor have any idea why he do all this?
You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all the trouble. Some deep reason.
A deep reason? Not only did he steal my keys, he touched my guitar. Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And worse if he had none.
The Diva's complaints aside, I just can't imagine someone doing this on just a whim.
Fräulein Detective, I take defense of the description.
Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say.
Yeah, the crime was planned for sure.
But Mr. the Toast spoke English. He may have come to this country before.
I looked into that, I assure you.
Oh.
It was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently he learned English on his own.
Great. You see, no one here had a motive to kill him, or certainly not in such an elaborate fashion.
It does seem difficult to imagine.
Unless our famous prosecutor did this as a publicity stunt.
What did you say?
Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song?
Of course not, but I'm quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of her claim. Why would I need promotion? Everyone listens to my music.
They're even in my textbook at school.
I never heard of them. What does that say about me?
I was just kidding. Don't get worked up, Glimmer Boy.
What do you mean by his signature?
The bullet holes in the wall, of course.
The bullet holes?
The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
And that means what exactly?
The dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing after the victim in there. They can't be more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible to miss that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim.
You can't be serious.
Machi, he can't see. That's why he missed. It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound on the other senses to fire the gun. Poorly.
That reminds me. The monitor is rooms was burned at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
I knew those bullet holes had come back to haunt me. Think, Justice, what do I do now? Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. That doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see. How so? There could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver?
The revolver's a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, it could dislocate their shoulder.
Exactly. The defendant, Machi Tobe, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would have thrown off his aim.
A convincing argument, to be sure.
Take that, smug prosecution.
Apollo?
What?
That bit about Machi being tiny and the gun throwing off his aim? Are you kind of, admitting he did it?
Oh. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is the shooter was without a doubt the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point. Cripes, I already put my foot in it this time. But let's set the facts of the matter on record. If you would, foreign detective.
Very well, the witness will add this to her testimony.
Right. You can't say he was blinded because of the bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that.
I wouldn't call it proof per se.
Huh? You merely faced the possibility. Foreign detectives make the most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there's more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped from the air vent.
But wait, if he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place?
Ah, very good point. Well, foreign detective, would you care to explain?
He certainly seems sure of himself. Recall the crime scene if you would. There was a step ladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking the air vents.
I don't believe it.
Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Matchy to Boy. He weren't known there was a way out at the top of the step ladder.
But that's... Why is the first time I'm hearing about this? You could have figured it out for yourself. You only need to consider what the stepladder was doing there.
Looks like the defense's objection's been squished by a stepladder.
Well, her forehead. Out of ammunition, perhaps?
I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive. Maybe he's caught the scent of blood. Apollo, don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? Something to prove the killer could see. That'll put him in his place. Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of these central points. Do I have any evidence that can prove it, though? I mean, I still say that he'd need to be able to read the lyric sheet. I'm just going to see what happens if I click no need. I can't think of anything that proves a shooter could see.
Your face does not exactly protect confidence.
Maybe you should accept it and move on. Apollo, grow a backbone!
Very well, the witness may continue her testimony.
I couldn't even get a word in edgewise. It doesn't look so good, does it, Apollo? No, it doesn't. What do we do? First, we don't panic. Even though Match's case is leaking water by the gallon, Gavin's on a roll and we need to stop him. Come on, I've read all this already, let me fucking fast forward it. Fine, I accept the prosecution's challenge.
As I knew you would, her forehead.
What exactly am I up against here? The
prosecution saying the shooter missed because they couldn't see. Therefore, Maxi, who's blind, did it.
The defence will please present their evidence. Evidence overturns the prosecution's claim the person couldn't see.
Take that!
I'm not sure it overturns anything, Mr. Justice.
Oh, wrong evidence, I'm guessing. Apparently both love and justice are blind. Come on, think. There must be something. Anything. Oh, not again.
Hold it!
Oh, now it's let me fast forward, thank fuck. I'd have to say, somebody blind would have a very hard time navigating this room.
Take that!
Fuck's sake.
Take that!
I'm not sure it overturns anything, Mr. Justice.
Take that!
Oh, for fuck's sake. Sod this, I'm looking it up. I'm not going through this fucking routine over and over again. Okay, I've been going about it all wrong. I need to actually present on the actual statement.
Objection!
The prosecution holds that the shooter couldn't see. A scientific conclusion based on a thorough examination of the crime scene, yes. Apparently not thorough enough. I have a certain piece of evidence that completely overturns your claim. What? This is that evidence.
The photograph of the crime scene.
I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. This is no time to think twice. Time to press on. Yes, Your Honour, the crime scene. There's something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah?
Very well. Shows what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. The contradiction of the scene of the crime.
contradictions right here.
The smeared blood stains?
I thought it was just my blurry vision. But it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. I get it. At least I think I get it.
Get what, Fräulein?
When Mr. Latos was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh?
Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Well, I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. No one has anything else to say?
About what?
So the prosecution accepts this? You agree this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And the killer tried to rub the name out?
What's your point?
What's my point? Let me ask you this. How'd the killer know the victim was writing their name?
Well, Mr. Latos was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Wait.
Once he saw what it was?
But what do you testify about the shooter?
I said they were blind. Ah!
Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why'd they rub out the name of the blood otherwise?
Ah!
May I remind the court the defendant Machi Tabe is blind, he couldn't be the shooter.
Impossible!
Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, explain to me what all this means! I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear the shooter could see. Yet up until now...
It seems I owe the court an apology. The Gaviners are a band with lawful enforcement ties. Yet the murder occurred during a concert. Apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here.
Hey Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't and he's about to tell us.
I've got an idea. Let's rock. With these documents. But before that, I have a question for Fräulein Detective, if I may.
What?
Tell me, why do you think that Maki Tobe is blind?
Huh?
What did he say?
What's you saying? Of course he's blind.
Of course.
He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamirant lead him around by the hand all the time?
No way. This is the fucking updated autopsy report all over again, isn't it? I have a report here to defendant Maki Tobe. According to this, Maki Tobe can see perfectly well.
What?
His blindness is merely a publicity boy by the clever Bulgarians. He can see quite well. But you said... What did I say exactly? Her forehead, and once in the course of this trial, have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fräulein Detective. But that's a significant fact, yeah. Consider, Maki Tobe sees. Won't he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent? I see no problem with this.
What about the bullet holes in the wall?
Yeah, the bullet holes. I believe her forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the 45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just fallen off the brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, her forehead. I knew you didn't have what it took.
You jerk! Just what was I here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologise.
Oh, sorry.
That's no way to apologise.
He's angered the Trucy now. Look out.
If we can please end the bickering now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solve this case if it kills me.
But your testimony is always given enough to convict the defendant.
Don't say that.
Ha! Ha ha!
Aha, what?
This blood stain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes.
We might be able to find out what was really written there.
Really? You can do that?
That's right, with this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Yeah. Have we done the test yet?
As if I'm telling you.
The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood test, the section was removed and submitted. Perhaps you could request it here in the court now.
Right. Go for it, Apollo.
Huh? I have to do the test?
You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple.
Chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere.
Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it.
Ready? It's easy as pie.
He has the entire quarter focused on me.
Apollo, your hand's shaking.
Oh, let's do this. IPXX 314206.
This must be the power of science. Oh, hey, I got it right. It says IPXX 314206. Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is if the killer was a robot.
Ah, I have it.
So what is it?
I thought the letters IPXX looked familiar. It's an Interpol ID number.
Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency?
Yeah, most undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number?
Why would Mr. Let us even know a number like that?
Good show for a detective. Fuck on.
Huh?
Your Honour, they can verify this number immediately. Darren, are you there? Come to the witness stand. Darren, you heard what we need? Go check the Interpol number.
Sure thing, give me 30 minutes. Nah, give me number 27. I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Yet this number really is that of an Interpol agent.
Oh wait, I know. What if Matthew Tobias really an undercover Interpol agent?
That would be a possibility.
A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why did the Toast know an ID put their Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time to think while we await Dan's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Matthew Tabai. What are you talking about? Fine, detective. Please accept my apologies. I received word the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began. It seems too much a bother to tell you.
You had me until the last bit.
Did it not raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Matthew pretend he couldn't see?
Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, her forehead? Huh? Me? Matthew Tabai pretended he was blind. Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he?
He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps it's on some kind of game? I know the moment I heard from that report. I know why.
I suppose people who sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason Matthew Tabai pretended to be blind. It wasn't for his own sake. Get the picture now?
It wasn't for himself? Well, Mr. Justice, you present evidence that shows why a defendant had to feign blindness.
How the fuck should I know? I have no idea. Ah ha ha ha! Her forehead, I'm disappointed in you. Unless you're merely feigning stupidity, ah? Keep it up, wise guy. The causal relationship of Larimore and Maki Tabai, in particular, set of arrangements over the years before visiting our country.
Lamar and her pianist. They'd always walk together, she's leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she'd lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him.
That's right, because he was blind or so they thought. She led him at all times. All times.
All times.
Yet now we know Matthew could see perfectly well. Why keep up the charade?
Wasn't it part of the performance?
There's a simple explanation, Her Judge. Mackie did not need to be led by the hand at all. Which means...
You don't mean...
I do. It was the other way round. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lanny Loy.
What's this? You mean to say Lammy Loy is...
Blind as a bat, Her Judge.
Huh? What?
Order! 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 This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin!
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter of sound or something?
Well, since we have her here, why not ask Laminoa herself? I believe she's still in the witness waiting room.
Apollo, what does this mean for our case?
Don't ask me, I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now. Bailiff, bring in Laminoa!
Laminoa, it pains me deeply to call you before us again this way, and yet I must.
Please do not be concerned on my behalf.
Those eyes, she really can't see? Really?
It is true.
Huh?
How funny it is a tiny lie born in Bohemian countryside would one day go to entangle the entire world.
So you're...
Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became Lamimora. No too that my memories begin in darkness. The word light had no meaning for Lamimora.
I see.
You may recall me saying something toward the beginnings of tile her forehead.
What's that?
I believe it was that a vulture crime had no direct witnesses. Ah. Now, Lamimora, I must ask you to stand once more. You'll testify to the court about your eyes.
Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes, of course. Though I admit I'm a little lost here.
I feel we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor.